right here, you can see that it is an SMG998W, so this is a Canadian variant of it. And if we go to the software information, here you can see that it's BMC for Bell Mobility. So what we need to change that to is SJR, and that's going to be the official version from Samsung directly. So that's not going to have any of the Bell bloatware and everything in this. Let's see if we can find some of these here. There was one that I disabled. Let's see. It's like some stupid walkie-talkie thing. Push to talk. Okay, so this stupid app right here. So this is an instance of like something that we're trying to get rid of here. So this is supposed to be like a walkie-talkie app between like multiple people who use Bell. So that way it's a free instant communication thing. So you would have like a list of contacts that you want to have like walkie-talkie function to. You just like hit the walkie-talkie button and it's like, hey, like what's going on or whatever, and then their phone goes off. But anyway, this hasn't been supported for years, and it's still forcefully included, and you can only disable it. You can't actually remove it. 50 megabytes that it's taking up. So I mean, it's not huge, but it is there, and those are pre-installed apps that you literally just can't get rid of. So the first thing that we need to do here is just turn the phone off. I forgot about that. Yeah, your power button isn't your power button until you tell it that it's your power button. Swipe down the notifications twice until it's fully expanded, and then power, and we're going to turn the phone completely off. Now we can just put this aside for now, and we will come back to that in a minute. Now I'm using this tool here, Frisia? I don't know. Anyway, all you have to do with this tool is you just type in the model number, SMG998W, which is the one that we have. So that's a Canadian variant, and we're going to be using SJR, and that's going to be the one from Samsung directly. So that way it's not a carrier-specific phone from Samsung. It's going to be a unlocked phone from Samsung, not designated to a carrier. Or if you just want to have the most compatibility, because in Canada they have all of the radio bands active. So this is going to be the most compatible for U, U1, and W variants of this phone. But if you're completely positive that your cell phone carrier uses the same frequencies and bands, then you can save a little bit of storage space, because this is a 6.75 gigabyte file. And the unlocked US version, because there are so many limited things in it, they've removed so much of it. It's 6.2 gigabytes. I believe it's 6.2 or 6.3. It's right in there. So it is a fair amount smaller, but you have to be absolutely certain of that, because if you're not, you're going to have dropped calls. The signal could just completely cut out if it can't connect to a tower, because it's switching from one band to another that's no longer supported because the firmware doesn't support that band. Make sure to do your research first before flashing that one, because you can save space if you use that one. In Canada with Bell, I know this for Bell, T-Mobile works perfect, so I can use that one, but for this video's sake, I'm showing you this one right here because this is the most compatible, and then later I'm probably just going to wipe it again and do it over again. For now, what we're doing in this video is I'm going to show you the most compatible version of what to do to get rid of all the carrier bloat on your phone. So I'm just going to let this finish up downloading, and then once it's done, I'll show you what to do from there. So it is 6:06 in the morning, so I'm not going to screen record this or anything. I just need to get this done so I can set the phone up, and then I can use the phone, because I have many more videos that I have to record with that phone. And I'm getting tired. So anyway, this right here is the driver, which I'll have all of this linked in the description. This is a new build of Windows, so I don't have it installed. So I am going to be installing this driver right now. Okay, awesome. So we open it, just click next. Yep, all of that's fine. I don't know, is there Canada on here? Oh, there is Canada. Okay, so we can select a region for whatever reason. Yeah, just install there. All that seems fine. Sure. Okay, so that driver's installed, finished. So now we can actually connect to the S21 Ultra in Windows. So this is another file here. Just extract this little folder, and then in here we're going to open Odin 3.14.4. Just click OK, and everything's fine. We can actually close this folder right here. So now what we can do is put the phone into download mode. So to do that, we're actually going to need two hands here, but essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be holding volume up and volume down. Why is this so dark? I'm going to be holding volume up and volume down at the exact same time, and I'm not going to let go, and I'm going to plug the USB cable in. And then this USB cable is currently plugged into the computer. And when I plug it in, it's going to turn the phone on, and I'm going to continue to hold both of these buttons down until the download mode screen shows up, and then I can let go. So let's see if we can try and get this. Okay, so let's see. So we have volume up, volume down. So I'm going to hold both those. I'll actually do it like this. And then we can take the USB cable. And I'm going to hold these buttons and plug the USB cable in. And there we go. Now you can see that it comes up and it just says we can push volume up to continue, or we can push volume down to cancel, which will restart the phone. So we're going to push volume up, and now we're in download mode. So now that we're in download mode, you can see that COM3, it just came up, and if it doesn't come up, you'll probably just have to restart your computer after you've installed that driver. It's unlikely that you'll have to, but that's just something that you could have to do if it doesn't come up. Okay, so now all we have to do is we just have to fill these 4 boxes with the corresponding files from the firmware that we downloaded, and it is extracted right here. And now we just navigate to the folder right there, and we have BL, so we're going to load that one in. Now we're going to do AP. Now this one is going to take a little bit longer for it to actually load. And once you load this, don't touch anything because it can crash. See? Now responding. Don't touch anything. It's loading the file. Everything is fine. And it does take a long time for this to load. And just for reference, this is an i9 9900K with 32 gigs of RAM and 3 NVMEs in RAID 0. Like, this is not a slow computer by any means, and even that struggled to load that file. Now we can do CP, so we'll load that one, and now this last one right here, I'm going to strongly recommend you do what I'm about to do here, and we're going to click the CSC file. That's the one that I'm going to load, and I'm going to use this file. And essentially what's going to happen here is this is going to completely wipe the phone. So you also have to make sure you back everything up, or if you haven't even set the phone up yet and you just want to remove the bloat right out of the box, then you're good to go. But this file is going to completely wipe the phone. Now, that's a good thing, because what we're doing right now is we're going from the Bell Canadian firmware to the official unlocked firmware from Samsung, which is what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve a lighter operating system as if we were to purchase this phone directly from Samsung. If, for whatever reason, you're a psychopath and you didn't feel like backing any of your stuff up, and you're going from a W to W, or a U1 to U1, or U to U, so you're going from the same device firmware to the same device firmware, you can use Home CSC, and this will not wipe your phone. You can dirty flash this from like a U to W, or any cross-platform across any of those. It is extremely high risk. You could have boot loops, you could soft brick your phone. Like, there's so many different things that could go wrong. I strongly recommend you don't do it. Home CSC is mostly if you are updating. So if you get a new firmware, just like this, you've downloaded a new firmware, and it's just an updated version and you did not get the over-the-air update yet, this would be the instance where you use Home CSC, because you're just flashing an update. But because we are switching firmware to a different one, because I'm going from Bell to official Samsung, we're going to use CSC. And I strongly recommend you use this because currently there's no updates. Like, the phone just came out today. Well, I guess yesterday now because it's 6 a.m. But this is the one that you should be using. So that's the one that we're going to load. It has loaded, and now we're just going to click start. All right, so this should take a fair amount of time to flash, and when it's done, the phone will just automatically restart. And because we use the regular CSC file and not the Home CSC, it's going to restart to the setup screen. And from that point, the phone has been completely wiped, and it's going to be on the firmware that we want. So we can literally just set the phone up as if we just got it, and now all the carrier stuff is gone. So right now, at this point, we're done. As long as we see pass right there in green, we're done. However, I did spend a really long time talking and explaining the CSC files, and the download mode will time out sometimes. If you run into that issue where it fails because it timed out, what you can do is try and reverse those steps. So when I opened Odin, you can load all of the files first and then hold the volume keys and plug the phone in. So that way, as soon as it enters download mode, those files are already loaded and you can just click start immediately, which will give you a significantly better chance of it actually flashing. But this computer is really quick, so we should be able to get away with it. It might fail just because I spent so much time talking about the CSC file, but I think it should be good. But if not, then that's exactly what I'm gonna have to do. I'm just gonna have to load it again, open Odin, load all the files, shut the phone down completely, unplug it, hold the volume keys, plug the phone back in, wait for download mode to pop back up. We'll see the COM port come back up, and then we're just going to click start because the files will already be there. Which, I mean, you could do from the start. It's just, I say it to do the other way where you connect the phone first to make sure Odin works, because if that COM port doesn't come up, then you have to restart the computer and then you loaded them for nothing. So as long as you're not me and you're going to talk about the CSC file for like 6 years, then you should probably be fine. So I'm going to let this go for a little bit, and then I will come back once that's done. There we go. So you can see that it does say passed. It did work. And then right here, the phone is now restarting. So it's going to essentially finish its firmware install right here of doing the full factory reset and everything, and then we'll just be prompted with the setup screen. And then I can just set the phone up just like normal, except it's going to be the unlocked bloatware-free or carrier bloatware-free version, as if we had purchased this directly from Samsung. So you can see starting Android. The setup process here, because it is going to be a little bit different. So now you can see that we have English, but it's not English Canada anymore. It's just English. So we're going to go next. The privacy policies have changed. There's now one other optional setting that we no longer have to ignore. So there's another thing missing there. So now it's done. So we're just going to go back to settings just to confirm. We can go all the way down to about phone. And then right here, you can see we're still SMG998W, so that's still Canadian variant. But then we will go to the software information here. We'll scroll down, and you can see right here, XAC, 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 BMC. So now we're fully unlocked, no carrier bloat, with still using a Bell Mobility SIM card. It's now a direct phone from Samsung. There's no more factory bloatware on this thing. That's it. It's super simple, and now we don't have to deal with any of the preloaded junk that comes on the phone. Now, just as another thing here is, if we go up, there's no more Bell folder. So there is still the Samsung bloat that's in here, but unlike One UI 3.0, we can actually uninstall these. It's not just disable, it's remove. Bye Facebook, it's gone. It's done. It's not on the phone anymore. Like, we can go to settings, we'll go to apps right here, and we can go down to F, right here. Where's Facebook? It's not there. It's not disabled. Go all the way to the bottom, it's not disabled. We can remove it. So now, obviously, there's going to be some apps that we can't remove, like specific Samsung ones. So, for instance, Samsung Internet, we can't uninstall that. We can't even disable it because it's a default browser for the phone. That's just going to show how much better this is already becoming, because we can remove apps, at least the bloatware apps. We can actually remove them now, and it doesn't come with all of the Bell stuff, or whatever carrier you're on. So this is, without a doubt, the best possible setup that you can have, while not having to fork out like $2,000 Canadian plus tax for this phone, because now this thing is financed, which means there's an additional $400 off. So you're essentially saving about $800 in total while getting the headphones, the smart tag, the phone, and you're not paying the full retail price if you finance it through a carrier, all while still having the full clean experience that you would have if you were to buy this outright from Samsung. Now we're done. It works. That's it. Like the video if you liked it. Leave some comments down below or something, or dislike the video if that's how you felt. That's cool. Or subscribe. There's a join button now, so if you want to become a member of this channel and help support all of these things, that's cool. That'd be awesome. Or don't do any of it. I'm not telling you what to do.